The day Marcus's unattainable ideal returned, he handed me divorce papers. Sign them. It's just a pretense, a little show to make her happy, he added nonchalantly when I didn't respond. I pressed my lips together and quietly signed my name. After getting up to leave, I overheard them laughing, mocking me as Marcus's lapdog, someone who would never leave him. Just then, I received a call from a CEO. Will you divorce him, Grace? Yes. Question mark. You're not kidding me? A few seconds of silence followed on the other end. I hung up the phone. The laughter and banter in the private room continued unabated. All right, let's make a bet. If he's really that obedient, I'll cover all our bar tabs for the next 3 months. Hold your horses, Marcus said slowly. Another burst of playful noise erupted. I walked out in a daze. It wasn't until I exited the private club and looked up to a sky full of sunshine that tears finally streamed down my face. Mr. Marcus had recently been pursuing someone. She wasn't one of those aristocratic heiresses from social circles, delicately sipping wine and feigning elegance. Instead, she was a young woman in a cotton dress, who would squat by the alleyway entrance to feed stray cats. A sprawling penthouse with river views spanning 500 square meters within the third road, a new pink Rolls-Royce in the garage, complete sets of jewelry on the vanity, gifts poured in for her like a flowing river. Yet, the woman took off a jewelry necklace and handed it back to him. It's too heavy and annoying. Marcus bit on his cigarette and chuckled, then what do you want? Moonlight seeped through the French windows, casting small shadows from her eyelashes on her face. Mr. Marcus, what do people in your circle call someone like this? She ran her hand over the creases in the leather sofa. A mistress? A plaything? The ashtray was suddenly knocked to the floor. As pinched her chin and leaned closer, he smelled the cheap jasmine-scented shampoo in her hair, unlike the luxury hair perfumes used by his other bed partners. Don't act so high and mighty, he sneered. You clearly know all about me. The woman suddenly tilted her head back and laughed, revealing her cute canine teeth. That's precisely why it won't work. She gently tapped his chest. I'm not the other woman. To this day, I've lost count of how many acts Marcus made me play alongside him. Pretending or real, when I think about it, I was the only one who ever took it seriously. The first time, he said he liked me. Back then, I didn't even know who Luna was. At the amusement park, I held Marcus's hand tightly, our fingers intertwined. My eyes sparkled with laughter, and I was immersed in happiness. Marcus, however, kept scrolling through his phone. Suddenly, his expression lit up with surprise. He put his phone away and looked around. Following his gaze, I saw a beautiful girl in a white dress. It was the same as the dress I was wearing. That was Luna, and she hadn't noticed us, currently laughing with a guy companion next to her. Marcus pulled me towards them. Facing the guy, Marcus's smile was strained. His competitive spirit flared, and he introduced me to her. Luna, this is my girlfriend. After exchanging greetings and going our separate ways, Marcus let go of my hand and turned to leave. He didn't contact me once in the 3 days that followed. The second time, he had an argument with me. While traveling in an unfamiliar city, he said he was going to buy water. He never returned. I was alone in a strange city, my wallet and phone with him, feeling lost and helpless. I later learned that Marcus had been following me from a distance the whole time, watching me get lost in the rain, crying hysterically. He recorded a video and sent it to Luna teasingly. Honestly, she can't be without me for a second, crying like this after being apart for just a little while. I don't know what Luna replied, but his expression instantly turned cold, and he went back to the hotel alone. The third time, he wanted to marry me. We're together. Luna's latest social media post was an official announcement with a picture of intertwined hands, which she'd posted after losing a round of truth or dare. Marcus stared at it for hours. Then he drove to my house. Grace, let's officially register our marriage. We already had a long-standing engagement, but Marcus had always put it off, claiming he hadn't had enough fun yet and wasn't ready to settle down. Now that he suddenly proposed it, everyone assumed he had matured and was ready to commit. So, with a heart full of joy, I followed him into the marriage. And this time, he told me he wanted a divorce. Grace, let's go officially register our divorce. The exact same words. Okay. I cut off Marcus as he was about to continue explaining. A hint of surprise remained on his face. Really? You agree? I calmed myself. My eyes ached, and my throat felt raw. Yes, I agree. That day, Marcus was unusually excited from the moment he woke up. He drove to pick me up for the county clerk's office even before it opened. While waiting outside, he casually spoke to me, replying to messages on his phone. What gift do you want for your birthday next month? Do you still want a music box? You've loved them since you were a child, you always get happy when I give you one for your birthday. We grew up together. When I was 6, he gave me a music box, and I was absolutely delighted. After that, he assumed I only liked music boxes and never put thought into any other gifts. At 9 in the morning, we walked into the county clerk's office precisely on time. While we waited, he looked at me and gently wiped the redness and moisture from the corners of my eyes. Why are you crying? It's just an act to humor her. You're not taking it seriously, are you? His tone was doting, but his other hand didn't stop replying to messages. When we reached the counter, the clerk asked routinely, "Is this divorce consensual?" Yes. We cooperated fully with further questions about the reasons for divorce and if we had children. The process was quick. Marcus took the confirmation slip. After a 1-month cooling off period, you two can come back to collect your divorce certificate. Before even leaving the county clerk's office, Marcus took a photo of the confirmation slip and then casually handed the paper to me. He was busy texting. Immediately, my phone also received a message. A screenshot was sent to my phone. I'm single now, so stop talking about the other woman. If you're not tired of hearing it, I certainly am. Below it was a photo of the divorce registration application confirmation slip. The sender was Luna, and this divorce was also an act for her. I looked up at Marcus, who was walking ahead, his steps light and joyful. He said he was putting on a show for Luna. Now, I wondered, was it truly for her, or was it for me? I replied, feigning nonchalance. Have fun. Luna didn't reply again. Instead, another message popped up. Do you have time tomorrow? I took a taxi back alone. Marcus was in such a hurry to find Luna that I tactfully didn't bother him. Having woken up so early, I was very tired and dozed off in the car for a while. I dreamed of Marcus again. We grew up together, our families were family friends, and our elders had a very good relationship. The young Marcus used to be very kind to me. I was frail as a child and didn't often go out. He was my only playmate my age. He would compliment me, saying I looked like a princess in my beautiful dresses, and he promised he would always protect Little. Little him would hold my hand preciously and lead me before the elders. In a childish voice, he'd ask everyone, "Can I marry Little when we grow up?" The adults burst into laughter, and just like that, our long-standing engagement was set. The car jolted, and I woke from my dream. I took out my phone to check the time, just as a text message popped up. It was a picture, a bedspread covered in red roses, steam misting from the bathroom door, and faintly reflected within, the familiar silhouette of a man. My heart tightened with a sharp pang. My hands trembling, I turned off my phone, closed my eyes, and forced myself to forget everything I had just seen. After arriving home, I stumbled into the bathroom in a daze, letting cold water pour over me. I hugged my knees and cried helplessly in the corner. The shower was running full blast, loud enough to drown out any sound. I don't know how much time passed before I, soaking wet, returned to the bedroom and glanced at my phone. There were a startling 27 missed calls, all from the same person. Another call came in, and I answered, but said nothing. After a moment of silence on the other end, a clear, crisp male voice spoke, like jade striking ice in the quiet night. What happened? You haven't been answering your phone. Ethan. He heard the choke in my voice. Grace, what's wrong? Ethan was my junior from university. Marcus and I didn't attend university together for those 4 years. He claimed he was tired of the city's dullness and yearned for the novelty and freedom of an unfamiliar city. I stayed in Coast City for university alone. It was during this time that I met Ethan. And similarly, it was during those 4 years that Luna appeared. We lived our lives like 2 parallel lines. He went off to recklessly pursue his sense of novelty, and I made the first friend in my life who wasn't him. Until the appearance of the divorce papers tore through all pretense of civility. One day after signing the divorce papers, I went to the private club to bring him an umbrella, just as usual. His familiar private room was noisy. Marcus, what if Grace gets really angry when she finds out you're divorcing her for Luna? Her? She won't get angry, I heard Marcus reply nonchalantly. Yes, he was so certain that I wouldn't be angry with him. You're right. With quiet personality. Marcus married her out of a childhood connection. What could she possibly do without him? Alright, stop talking. Grace will be here soon. A few minutes later, I pushed the door open and entered. He took the umbrella and invited me to sit and join them. I smiled, refused, and turned to leave. Looking at the messages Ethan had sent on my phone, I thought for a moment and replied, yes. I looked at several messages Ethan had sent on my phone. Then, after you divorce that person, could you please? Would you be with me? It's okay if you don't want to, I'll keep pursuing you. Please don't feel burdened, you're so wonderful, surely. His flurry of messages only stopped when my yes appeared. After a few seconds, he called me directly. Grace, what you said. Is it true? You really agreed to be with me? Even through the phone, I could hear the excitement he was trying to suppress. I could imagine him wagging his tail and spinning in circles. Yes, it's true. I agree, I replied, word by word. That's great. No, I mean, that's a shame. No, it's still great. Then I'll help you contact a divorce lawyer first. My family has a cousin who's a lawyer, and he's very good at his job. It was as if he feared his hopes would be dashed, wanting only to swiftly sever my connection with Marcus. Everything after that went smoothly, with Ethan's cousin fully handling my divorce affairs. During this time, Ethan accompanied me on an even more important journey, rediscovering myself. We watched the sunrise from mountain peaks, camped to see the sunset, and ran along the beach together. Are you happy? He shouted, drawing out the vowel sound, by the ocean. I'm very happy. I mimicked him, shouting back with a drawn-out sound. This was the first time I had felt such joy since my parents passed away. When heard I was moving out of that house, he insisted on accompanying me to pack my things. I sat on the sofa, watching him busy himself with packing. Just then, Marcus sent me a MES. Sage, a picture. The photo showed an exquisite music box, with a very cute boutique abroad in the background. In the upper right corner of the photo, half of a woman's finger was visible. How about I give you this for your birthday in a few days? No need to ask, you'll definitely like it anyway. Why haven't you replied in so long? He was used to me being available at his beck and call, always replying to his messages instantly. Receiving his message, an inexplicable annoyance welled up in me. I looked up and saw Ethan lifting his shirt to wipe away sweat. His clearly defined abs and lean waistline were particularly captivating. Noticing me looking, Ethan flashed a shy, handsome smile, his earlobes turning red. I smiled too. Indeed, life was full of hope. The day before we were to collect our divorce certificate, Marcus returned to the country. He sent a message, "Why aren't you home?" He hadn't noticed my luggage was also gone, he just thought I was out having fun. Perhaps after a long time without a reply, or perhaps he finally realized my belongings were gone, he called. Grace? What's wrong with you? Seeing my continued silence, he chuckled softly. Are you angry? I've never seen you angry before, it's quite rare. Didn't I tell you? This is just a fake divorce, an act for her. You didn't take it seriously, did you? I remained silent, unsure what to say for the first time. On his end, there was still a noisy background, likely his friends gathered at his house. Grace, you remember, right? Tomorrow we're going to officially register our divorce. Marcus was about to say something else when a chorus of cheers and the annoyed, playful laughter of a girl erupted from his side. His breathing suddenly became ragged. He then urged me to go to bed early, told me not to be late tomorrow, and hurriedly hung up. The next day, we both arrived at the county clerk's office early, by unspoken agreement. After a month apart, Marcus hadn't changed at all, but I had. He stepped forward, putting an arm around me, and familiarly stroked my hair. Why are you here so early? How did you sleep last night? I subtly evaded his touch, then looked at him seriously one last time. They're open. Let's go in. I didn't answer his question. The process to officially register our divorce was extremely simple, and soon we walked out of the county clerk's office with our brand new divorce certificates. He curiously examined the divorce certificate in his hand, turning to smile at me. I'll come find you for dinner later. What do you want to eat? It was as if nothing had happened, but he didn't know that everything had already changed. Marcus, goodbye, I told him. He waved back at me. All right, goodbye then. I'll pick you up again tonight. Marcus didn't understand what my goodbye truly meant, and of course, he didn't bother to try and understand. He placated me as if completing a task, and seeing that I showed no negative emotions, he turned and left first. After returning home, I collapsed onto the bed and fell asleep. In the middle of the night, I was woken by the phone ringing. I instinctively answered it, and seeing the storm raging outside with thunder and lightning, my mood actually improved. The next second, the voice from the phone plunged me completely into despair. Luna, stop playing on your phone over there and come join us. Then a delicate female voice said, okay. Her? Don't even mention her. She's boring to death, like a log in bed, not making a sound. How could she compare to Miss Luna? You're much more interesting than Marcus's wife. That truly has no redeeming qualities except for being obedient. I really don't know how Marcus put up with her all these years. Yes, Marcus, this divorce truly marks the sweet fruits of enduring hardship for you. I don't know what else was said next, but the girl called Luna seemed to get angry, and everyone softly tried to soothe her. Luna, I've told you before, my interactions with Grace when we were kids were just for show because I felt sorry for her. Honestly, she annoys me to no end. It was as if something I had fiercely held onto in my heart shattered with a resounding crash. My hands and feet turned ice cold, and my entire body trembled. I never knew he and his friends thought of me this way, nor did I ever imagine Marcus could utter such heartbreaking words. The storm outside continued to lash against the windows, and the sound of thunder swallowed my sobs. I suddenly felt utterly lost, as if my connection to the world had vanished in an instant. Marcus, Marcus. In my confusion and helplessness, my fingers unconsciously clenched, accidentally dialing a number. Despite the late hour, it was quickly answered. Grace? What's wrong so late? Did something happen? It was Ethan. Was it fate? I had accidentally called Ethan. I didn't know how to speak, or what to say. I just cried incessantly. Are you alone at home? Don't cry, I'll be right there. In less than 10 minutes, Ethan arrived. He was panting, raindrops dripping from his hair. He saw me curled in the corner, my shoulders still trembling violently. When I looked up at him, my swollen eyes could barely open. Ethan's eyes were filled with heartache. He said nothing, just bent down and picked me up. With his jacket over my head, I huddled in his arms as we walked out into the rain. Lost in a daze, I don't know how much time passed. One of Marcus's childhood friends gasped. Holy cow, isn't that Grace? What? Which? Who else? Marcus's wife. Everyone crowded around him, craning their necks to look at his phone. It really is her. The first friend who had gasped excitedly jumped, wanting to show Marcus the phone. Marcus, with a resigned look, took the phone, finding their antics amusing. However, with just one glance at the photo, he froze. Who else could the girl in it be but Grace? In the photo, a man and a woman stood side by side, smiling as they gazed at each other. By the sea, a perfect golden couple. The caption read, "Folks, whose brother and sister-in-law did I just snap a pic of?" Hundreds of thousands of likes, tens of thousands of comments. All were kind remarks praising their beauty and compatibility. One comment, in particular, caught his attention. Isn't that young? Ethan from the Zhou family? Marcus slowly read this comment aloud. The family? Which family? The one from Capital City? A friend whose family was from Capital City took the phone and examined the photo closely. It really is young. Ethan? How is Grace with him? How do they know each other? Marcus also wanted to ask. Grace's world was just him, she had no friends, no relatives. When did she get to know someone else without his knowledge? He slowly pulled out a cigarette and lit it, not smoking it, just letting it burn. Seeing his troubled expression, everyone found excuses and left in pairs. He was left alone in the private room, the lights dim, only a tiny red glow flickering. He pulled out his phone, found the post, and scrutinized it for a long time. He scoffed, then dialed a number. He didn't care that it was 3 in the morning. Grace had always been available at his beck and call anyway. We're sorry, the number you have dialed is currently busy. Please try again later. 3 consecutive calls went unanswered. At that moment, I was at Ethan's house, having cried myself to sleep in his bedroom. To escape the painful memories of the past, I had temporarily moved in with Ethan. But recently, Ethan seemed to have suddenly become very busy, leaving early and returning late every day. One time, I happened to see him return very late, dressed formally, a complete departure from his usual youthful style. A fitted, navy blue suit jacket clung to his broad shoulders and lean waist, exuding an aura of sophistication. This was a side of Ethan I had never seen before. Accustomed to him being like a cheerful puppy, I felt a momentary discomfort seeing am so composed and steady, I thought, touching my slightly flushed face. A few days later, he resumed his usual routine, no longer leaving early and returning late. I secretly watched him from outside the door as he made dinner, and his docile appearance made my heart flutter. I suddenly walked forward and slipped my cold hand inside his collar. Ethan was so startled he nearly dropped the frying pan. He turned and pinned me against the kitchen counter, rubbing his flour-dusted nose against my cheek. The aroma of food mingled with our laughter in the air, and in the end, we still finished our slightly burnt dinner together. With by my side, I gradually integrated into a normal life and discovered many beautiful things in the mundane. I was surprised to find that the refrigerator always had fresh tomatoes. Ethan never used them for cooking but replaced them with fresh ones every day. When I asked him why, his stir-frying hand didn't stop as he casually replied, I noticed earlier that you really like raw tomatoes, so I've kept them stocked. A warmth spread through my chest. Was this what it felt like to be truly cared for? I felt so happy. Just as I was immersed in the peaceful happiness of my life with Ethan, a message from an unknown number shattered the calm. Where are you? Who are you with? Why haven't you been answering my calls? Was it Marcus? Then a flurry of messages, like snowflakes, poured in from different numbers. Reply to my message. Whose hand is your phone in? Stop fooling around, come home now. The pain of our recent separation welled up again, but this time, I felt no sadness. I stood in my memories, but now only as an outside observer. Another call came in. I paused, my hand still from arranging flowers. Ethan, who was resting his head on the table beside me, tilted his head, looking at me with curiosity, then at the phone. I gave him a reassuring smile, answered the call, and casually put it on speaker. Grace, where have you been all this time? Why haven't you contacted me? Someone photographed you with young Ethan from the Zhou family. That's not you, is it? Speak up. If you don't say anything, don't expect a birthday gift this year. I've really been too good to you. His words flowed non-stop until Ethan interjected, Grace, who is this? Your cheating ex-husband? The air froze. I looked at Ethan, who was grinning smugly at me like a fox, his eyes narrowed. I reached out my hand to him. He took my hand and rubbed his handsome face against my palm. Who is that? Which man are you with? Don't be so childish, Grace, finding a man just to spite me. Alright, stop messing around, just come home. I told you it was just an act, why are you getting angry? I calmly spoke his name. Marcus, we're already divorced. Don't bother me anymore. He scoffed on the other end, his tone mocking. Grace, can you just be sensible? You're always getting jealous, don't be so petty. Luna is just an innocent young girl, why are you getting angry with her? You. I found it quite amusing. Without waiting for him to finish, I hung up the phone and blocked that number too. I accidentally discovered that Ethan's phone memo was filled with all my preferences that he had noted down. Likes grapes but dislikes peeling them. Eats raw tomatoes and carrots, dislikes onions but loves cilantro. Picks at her hands when scared. Craves strawberry ice cream when sad. The latest entry read, made sweet and sour ribs today, she ate an extra bowl of rice, adorable, will make it again next time. Ethan returned from the kitchen and saw the scene, his face flushing deep red. He rushed over to snatch back his phone. I hid it behind me, refusing to give it back. His attempts to beg failed, so he leaned closer, intending to grab it when I wasn't looking. Suddenly, I was enveloped in his shadow. His mint-scented body circled around me. I looked up in alarm, and he happened to bend down, his lips brushing mine accidentally. Both of you. Froze simultaneously. His apple bobbed rapidly, and his eyelashes cast trembling shadows beneath his eyes. Snapping back to reality, I blushed and tried to pull away, but he didn't let go, instead holding me even tighter. He lowered his head, slowly extended a hand, and with an undeniable gentleness, lifted my chin, slowly drawing closer. His breath grew warm and quick, softly brushing my face. His lips lightly touched mine again. In that instant, it felt as if an electric current surged through both of us. The kiss was soft and tentative, as if he were holding the most precious treasure in the world. Behind me, there was a dull thud of a phone falling, but neither of us wanted to be the first to break the kiss. His voice was low and husky. Will you marry me? Dizzily, I agreed to Ethan's proposal. When I came to my senses, I started to regret it. But looking at Ethan, who was still foolishly smiling and touching the corner of his lips, my heart utterly melted. Such beauty truly could mislead people. The next day, he took me to get a visa, then energetically helped me pack my luggage. It wasn't until the plane landed safely that I realized my fear of flying had completely vanished because he was by my side. Hand in hand, we walked by a foreign lake as usual. As we walked, Ethan suddenly stopped. I looked at him quizzically. He took a deep breath and pulled out a small, exquisite red velvet box from his pocket. He slowly knelt on one knee and opened the box, revealing a simple yet elegant ring. Sunlight spilled onto the ring, reflecting a dazzling sparkle, illuminating Ethan's sincere and deeply affectionate eyes. Grace, will you marry me? From the moment I first saw you, my world changed because of you. You are the most beautiful encounter in my life, and every moment spent with you makes me incredibly happy. Today, I want to make a lifelong promise to you right here. Will you marry me and let me spend the rest of my life protecting you? The local resi. Dance nearby, seeing the proposal, gathered around, cheering us on. I extended my right hand, smiling so widely my eyes crinkled. I felt certain this time wouldn't be a mistake. At this very moment, I was absolutely sure I loved him. We officially registered our marriage in Ireland, getting married in a country where divorce is prohibited. Everything was as blissful as a fairy tale. On the way back, Ethan kept foolishly smiling, clutching our marriage certificate. Noticing me staring at him, he leaned his head against my cheek and rubbed it softly. At the airport, we unexpectedly ran into Marcus again. He was walking with Luna on the other side, laughing and chatting. Marcus turned, saw us, and his expression changed. Ignoring by his side, he walked straight towards us. Noticing him approaching, I grabbed Ethan, who was still lost in his wedding dreams, and turned to run. Ethan didn't know why I suddenly wanted to run, but he still grabbed my hand and ran with me. The phone kept ringing incessantly all the way home. Grace, who is that person? You're my wife, walking around with another man, have you no shame? Haven't you made enough trouble for long enough? I'm giving you one last chance. Come home before tomorrow. My mom wants to see you. He wasn't the Marcus I used to know. No, or rather, I had never truly known Marcus. He had always been this awful. After returning to the country, I was bombarded with messages asking what was going on. I was puzzled. It shouldn't be happening, as no one knew about Ethan and my marriage. Even high school classmates I barely knew sent messages asking about Marcus. What's going on, Grace? Have you two broken up? I heard you were already married, so what's he doing? It turned out he hadn't spread the news of our divorce yet. We've been divorced for a long time. The photo looks good. I wish them happiness. Not long after I sent those messages, the classmate sent another screenshot. Marcus seemed to have been provoked, ostentatiously flaunting his affection. He also claimed he was about to propose to Luna, declaring that this was true love. I felt a wave of helplessness and politely declined the classmate's kind offer to mediate again. I opened my long-neglected social media account, had Ethan hold up our marriage certificate, took a photo, and uploaded it. The picture showed a pair of large, well-defined hands holding two marriage certificates, clearly a man's hands. The first thing to do upon returning to the country was to get our marriage notarized. Ethan had also begun to take over the family business, busy at the company all day. It was only then that I truly came to know the Ethan before me, young Ethan from the Zhou family in Capital City. Not many days had passed peacefully when Marcus sent me a message again, asking to meet. He said there were still some property division procedures from the previous divorce that needed my signature. Although I didn't want to see him again, after so many years, the businesses and inheritance left by my parents were inextricably intertwined with the Chu family's assets. To reclaim my parents' inheritance, I had no choice but to go. When heard about this, he contacted his cousin who worked in law. He said if I didn't want to meet Marcus, his cousin could fully represent me to handle the matter, and I would only need to sign when absolutely necessary. I, of course, gladly accepted his kind offer, but Marcus couldn't accept it. Grace, are you insane? You married someone randomly just to spite me. Come meet me. If there's a misunderstanding, let's clear it up in person. I won't deal with that lawyer. If you want to sort this out, come see me yourself. Oh, and there's a charity gala tomorrow night. Apologize to me, and I might just take you with me. A charity gala? I ignored his message and began to recall. This morning, before Ethan went to the company, he seemed to mention a banquet tomorrow night, insisting I accompany him, or he wouldn't go to work. It couldn't be the same one, could it? But even if it was, it didn't matter. It would be a good opportunity to finally settle everything. Dressed in a carefully chosen gala dress, I gracefully stepped into the banquet. The moment I entered the grand hall, my gaze accurately found Marcus, the man who once held such a significant place in my life. He was surrounded by people, Luna nestled beside him, both laughing and chatting lively. Just then, the banquet music abruptly changed, and the spotlight dramatically swept to the entrance. A tall, striking figure strode in, and the entire hall fell so silent you could hear a pin drop. I fixed my gaze. It was Ethan. He'd had something come up at the last minute and told me to come first. He'd arrive shortly after. He walked purposefully through the crowd, came straight to my side, and naturally took my hand. My apologies, I'm late. Then, facing everyone, his voice was steady and strong. Allow me to introduce you all. This is my companion, and also my wife. My wife and I will be holding our wedding next month. Wedding invitations will be distributed after the banquet, and we sincerely invite you all to grace us with your presence. The air froze for a second. Then, I distinctly heard gasps echoing all around. Someone knocked over a champagne flute, the sound of glass shattering as sharp as a slap. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw Marcus's face, pale, stiff, as if someone had stabbed him in the chest. His cronies' eyes were wide, their mouths agape enough to fit an egg. The family's business partners, however, quickly put on polite smiles and raised their glasses to me. "Mrs. Grace, it's a pleasure to finally meet you." As publicly declared my identity, his fingers gently caressed my waist, a silent comfort. I suddenly felt a strong urge to laugh. So this was what it felt like to be cherished. Marcus finally snapped out of his shock, his voice trembling. "Grace, you." Ethan nonchalantly interrupted. Him. "Mr. Marcus, do you have business with my wife?" He heavily emphasized the word wife. Marcus's Adam's apple bobbed, his eyes flickering. "We. Ex-husband." I interjected lightly, my smile gentle yet cruel. "He's my ex-husband." Ethan let out a low chuckle, then suddenly leaned in and whispered in my ear. "It seems Mr. Marcus's eyesight isn't very good." His breath was hot, making the tips of my ears tingle. To let go of such a wonderful wife? The volume of his words was just right, allowing those nearby to hear. Marcus's face grew even paler, and Luna beside him also turned ashen. As if Ethan hadn't caused enough of a stir, he suddenly raised his hand to caress my face. His thumb gently wiped the corner of my lips, his voice low and husky. "Lipstick smudge. Ready to go home?" he asked. I smiled and nodded, letting him put his arm around me as we walked out. When I passed Marcus, I heard him hoarsely call my name, but I didn't turn back. Mending a broken relationship? Too bad I'm not in the business of mending broken things. 6 months later, Marcus somehow got my new number. Late one night, his hoarse voice came through the phone. "Grace. I regret it." I was leaning against Ethan, eating strawberries, and chuckled when I heard him. "Regret what?" "Regretting not cherishing you," he choked out. "I realize now that a woman like Luna can't even compare to you." Ethan suddenly took the phone, his tone icy. "Mr. Marcus, we're trying to rest. We don't have time for your confessions." A moment of silence on the other end, followed by suppressed sobs. All the grievances I'd accumulated during those years with Marcus, I had no desire to voice them now. It felt utterly meaningless. I took a bite of the strawberry Ethan offered, its sweetness making my eyes crinkle. Some people only deserve to live in memories as a lesson. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to airing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.